Welcome back to the second hour of our program, broadcasting live from the American Postal Workers Union, APWU, the website apwu.org, by the way, I should mention. And with me is Judy Beard, the legislative and political director of the APWU. Do you refer to it as the APWU or as the Postal Workers Union? Is there a slang that you use?
Postal workers.
Yeah, postal workers. There you go. So Judy, tell us first of all about you and your job, what you do here.
I have a very, very interesting job. It is to educate our membership on the legislative issues that's currently being discussed in Congress, as well as what they can do to impact the decision of the members of Congress.
And so what are the issues that you feel are most important? You know, vote by mail is a big one for you right now.
Vote by mail is one of the most important issues that we should think about on a long-term basis, because we elect people right now through a system that is unfair, because people work, they can't get off work to go vote in many, many cases. Their car could break down, they could have an emergency, the voting poll places could be, out of reach, and we should have vote by mail.
Yeah.
It's the fairest way to, our democratic process would work.
Right, and one of the slick little tricks for voter suppression that they use these days is putting into poor neighborhoods or minority neighborhoods the crappiest voting machines, the old clunkers, and half the time they don't even, a friend of mine, Garland Gilchrist, is running for the city clerk in Detroit, and they're doing a recount right now. And they just opened one of the boxes, there was nothing. Some of those machines are just not even counting. And forgive the
not only
tangential rant, but it's,
people go out to vote and stand in very, very long lines,
right.
And they can't stand in those lines that long because some of them may be sick, some of them children may be home and they had to rush home to their babysitter. So the fairest way is vote by mail, and it works. In Washington State, in Colorado, in Oregon, they have vote by mail.
Yeah.
And it's all elections vote by mail. And the ballot comes to the home, you sit down, relax, you vote, you mail it back. And the postal office is one of the safest and trusted institutions that there is. So vote by mail.
Are there any real champions for that in Congress right now, people that we should be encouraging?
There are two bills currently. The Senate bill is 1231. The House bill is 2669. And there are real champions up there for vote by mail. Bernie Sanders is one of them.
Great. And other issues, postal banking is a big one.
Postal banking is also something that is needed to help working families. Many banks are in what we call deserts, bank deserts, because within a 10-mile radius of their home, there's no bank. And not having a bank, you are forced to go to these pay lenders and pay high prices for cash and checks. So no one should have to do that out of their the little paycheck that they get.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, and it's something that other countries do. The tax bill, the budget, all this stuff, or is there on your list? We'll follow yours. What other issues are you telling your members about?
We're encouraging our members to pay attention to what's going on in Congress with the tax bill. We don't know what is going to come out of conference, and we know that the tax bills is for the rich, and it's not for us. And we know that, those who might get a little tax break, the middle class that might get a tax break, it's going to end in 10 years. And the rich is going to just get their tax break is going to continue forever. So we have to watch who we elect and then watch what they do in Congress. And when we're dissatisfied, we need to pick up the phone and call them. Or when they're home on break, we need to go to their office and let them know what we think of how they are voting, or express how we would like them to vote.
Right. Yeah, it's powerful stuff. The other things on your list?
Yes, the budget as well. We know that.
Is there a budget?
Well, there's, of course, there's no real budget. We know that once the tax bill passed, they're going to try to, take it out of our paychecks to pay for it. And we have to watch everything Congress does, every single thing. And when it impacts our lives, it reflects on who we voted for in the first place.
Yeah.
Or maybe we didn't vote at all. So I think in the 2018 election, the American people are going to be fully aware. They are tired of what's going on in Congress, and they're going to go out to the polls, and they're going to vote, and they're going to elect real leaders that support working people. From issues of, this tax bill, it's a jobs bill, get real.
Yeah.
The bill, $15 an hour, people are opposed to that in Congress today. They leave the minimum wage so low that people can't even afford to pay for, the food for their families. Health care is a big issue in this country. Postal workers are concerned not just about the post office, but they're concerned about their families as well. And we're out there fighting every day to make sure that the democracy in this country is preserved, there's some comeback, and it's a bad situation right now.
What kind of feedback do you get from your members, from your Postal Workers Union members, on where they see the priorities for both the union and the country?
Well, first, the postal workers are looking at their families, and they're seeing that, post offices are, closing or threatened to be closed because the Postal Service is running out of money. And the Postal Service is only running out of money because of the fact that they have to pre-fund their health care of the workers 75 years out at $5 billion a year based on what the government put into place.
Yeah, that was a poison pill in 2005 during the Bush administration, but I thought that had expired.
But they still owe debt to the Postal Service. The Postal Service still owe debt on that. They haven't paid the bill since 2012. And they're squeezing the workers, meaning that, without money, they're threatening workers' jobs, and they're threatening, workers' lives by moving post offices or closing post offices. And it's really a bad situation because taxpayer dollars don't pay for the Postal Service. And, a lot of people think that taxpayer dollars pay for the Postal Service. It's the sales that they make that the Postal Service is run off of. And they have not paid this $5 billion bill since 2012.
So in point of fact, if the Republicans in Congress wanted to destroy the post office, if it was funded with public money, they could simply pull the funding. But because they couldn't pull the funding, they changed the rules of the game to say you've got to set aside money to prepay the health insurance expenses of people who are not even born who might work for your union someday. That's crazy.
It is crazy. There is currently a bill, H.R. 756, that will, help pay for this debt that has been growing over the years. H.R. 756, and APWU and our members support this bill, and we just want some relief.